Selamat petang, good evening. Welcome to our webinar organized by UPM student. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to our webinar. The title of our webinar is Communication at the Speed of Multi-Lane, Free Flow, and Agile Decision-Making Tactics Around Highway Issues. All right, our guests, we have one guest and one panelist for our session tonight. This session is expected or scheduled to take on for about 45 minutes until 1 hour. Tonight is going to be a live session, and this is also appearing live in CMCI Facebook. If you follow the link, we have given the link in our promo, and feel free to follow us there if you cannot join us here. No problem. All right, number one, I would like to introduce you my guest tonight. I'm Zukri. I'm the moderator, Zukri Valenteno. My guest is Yang Berbahagia Tuan Mohamed Syed Idid, Head of Corporate Community and Public Engagement plus Malaysia Berhad. He's the com expert here, and he has about 20 to 30 years, I think 30 years of PR experience, very seasoned and a PR man. And then our panelist is also equally experienced PR communication guy, actually communication person. Our technologist yang berusia, technologist Dr. Megat Imran Yasin, senior lecturer of our faculty of Modern Languages and Communication, UPM. And tonight we're going to talk about communication and decision making. That is the basis of our talk tonight. But the title is Communication at the Speed of MLFF, which is multi-lane free flow and agile decision making tactics around highway issues. As the name suggests, free flow communication, speed of multi-lane free flow. It is also the nature of our discussion tonight. Free flow, quite a free flow session is going to be. No hard and fast rule, but I only have one rules of engagement. Just only one rule of engagement. When one person speak, the others listen. You off your mic. When you speak, you on your mic. That way, we will cut out all interference, noise interference, and everything. Because everybody understands that this app is not that it is quite vulnerable to this kind of interference. It is not that 100% stable. So the only way when someone speaks, everybody else listen and off their phone. You can on the audio, no problem. Or you can on the video. We want to see you, but the audio. All right. I'd like to start with Tuan Syed to call on Tuan Syed, Tuan Mohamed Syed Idid. I'm told he's from Penang. He's a seasoned PR person. I know him for many years. He has more years in PR than me. I'm only doing communication and journalism before. So I'd like to call on Tuan Syed to present yourself, please, sir. You're welcome. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Zukri. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, everybody. Dr. Megat, it's an honor and pleasure to be invited to this virtual webinar by UPM.
Thank you very much.
I'm from PJ, actually. But yes, I studied in Kedah and Penang. It's over 30 years of communications experience. I've actually just joined PLUS almost 1.5 years ago. So in terms of the highway industry, I'm about less than 2 years old. My previous communications experience were predominantly in consultancies and also in the financial sector. So the reason why I chose the title at the speed of MLFF, or multi-lane free flow, because this is one of the vision for our country, that the highways in the very near future, and I say very near, will be transformed from your current toll booth to a multi-lane free flow, right? Where you will not have your gantries anymore. It will go through a very distinct RFID technology. But also my experience since I joined PLUS, kalau kita in communication, we have issues and crises, right? So this one is almost every day there is a potential crisis waiting for you at the corner. Can we go next to the other slide? So, ladies and gentlemen, Plus is a huge organization. The country itself is a huge organization. And even within UPM is a huge university. I've always attest to James Hume. So James Hume was Ronald Reagan's speechwriter. I take comfort in the last line of his quote. The art of communication is the language of leadership. I think that is a reflection on how a lot of leaders today are successful, right?
Yeah, agreed.
Next, please. So for all those who are living around and studying at UPM, who travel the Plus Highway on along Sungai Besi, right, to Seremban and back, just to show you, we are the largest highway network. We constitute almost 60% of the network, highway network in Malaysia. It's over 1,130 kilometers long. All right. We also have in the part of East Coast, which is called the Lebuh Raya Pantai Timur, which is LPT2. It's connected to LPT1, which is under another concessionaire. So contrary to a popular belief, Plus doesn't own every highway. So I just wanted this to be very, very clear. Yes, while we are the largest network, but we are one of the 25 highway concessionaires in the country, right? So some people say
Yeah.
we are monopoly, but I'm telling you now we're not. Okay, next please. So when I came in, Dato Azman Ismail, our managing director, infused he came from Shell. So he infused a new way of thinking from a toll operating expressway company, which is fully operational, into a customer service caring organization. And we actually sat down and built a purpose for Plus. And I think in terms of communication and decision making, you need to have the foundation of what is your purpose. Once you understand your intent or your purpose, or we say in Islam, your nawaitu, then
Yeah.
you know how to chart your pathway, right? So our purpose in Plus is taking good care of you every step of the way, right? And it's very unique for a highway company to have that purpose. But we are guided by 5 pillars. Safety. I think we know safety begins with each of us. But it's also an onus on Plus to make our highways as safe as possible. And this is reflected in our recent win this year by MIROS, which is the Malaysian Institute of Road Safety Research, that we were ranked the number 1 safest closed toll highway, right?
Bravo, bravo.
Thank you. Last year was even a bigger accolade when Dato Azman brought the team. We were the first highway in Asia to win the Prince Michael International Road Safety Award. And of course, the team went to London to receive it. And also, it happened before COVID. Now, the other pillar of comfort is that I think if you go to, when you travel, there are R&Rs, right? There are
Yeah, yeah.
laybys for you to
Yes.
relax. But we're retrofitting. We've brought in international brands. We've made it more consumerish and lifestyle because we did a survey and we want to give people like comfort and enjoyment as they travel, right? So you've got your Starbucks, you've got your Tea Life, you've got your Baskin Robbins, you've got A&Ws and all that, right?
Yes, yes.
Social impact. The key thing about social impact in any leadership communication drive is we take care of our neighbors. The fence line are the people who are living around where the Plus Highway plies through, right? So
Yeah.
we have community engagement programs to look into how we can help elevate the communities living around there. And most of them are actually working in our R&Rs, laybys. They've got their food trucks, they've got their makan. There's very nice hot kambing, at Rawang R&R. And we've got very unique offerings, right?
Yeah.
And these are Malaysians. So we're just not a government-linked company. It's not about profit. it's about sustainability, and it's about taking care. The other part is about our people. In Plus, we have this thing about committed to your growth. It's one of our corporate values. And we make sure that people today are reskilled and upskilled to meet the challenges in the digital landscape. In long ago, they were called toll tellers. Today, they're called customer service assistants. In the near future, in this new normal, they could be branded something else because their role will change, right? And
Yeah.
technology, people, so you just collect toll. What does Plus have to do with technology? A lot, okay? But just to give you a snippet, RFID is one of the technology that makes for seamless payment, right? But RFID is just more than paying toll. It is a conglomerate of many benefits that comes from paying your car road tax. Your details will be there. You can use it when you drive through to pay because it's all linked to the e-wallet at the end of the day. We're also coming out with video analytics. In the future, if we have large vehicles, heavy vehicles that are overweight, that may be dangerous in terms of their axle, and these video analytics will actually let us know, and we will send our Plus Ronda, our patrolling team, to escort them safely out so that they do not cause any incidences on our highway. Right? Next, please.
Yeah. Next slide, please.
So what I shared was the refresh corporate values. So we internalize taking care of you, and we always strive to do things better. Enterprise focus is something that is very close to everybody in Plus because we have to work as a single unit. So enterprise focus brings the team together, right? And of course, the other one is taking pride in results. So you see the Prince Michael International Road Safety Award is one of the things that we're proud of. And also just to let you know, as a highway GLC in 2019, and it was the first time Plus entered into the Malaysia PR Awards, we walked away the biggest winner with 4 gold and 2 silver awards, right? So it means we're doing something right when it comes to communication. And actually, this year for the AMAC International Media Intelligence Award, we were awarded the Gold Award for managing reputation and crisis. Right? So, committed to your growth is a commitment we make to our staff, right? And the most powerful and valuable value, and this is where all of us here as communicators or student of the art, transparency and open communication is a value that makes the big difference in our jobs today. Because I always
Yes, it is. It is. Yeah, it
I
is.
believe this, and I've been speaking to Zukri, and to be a hit to your public audience, and the hit is HIT, you need to communicate with honesty. Your content, your message has to have integrity. It cannot be a lie. And you must be transparent. Even though things are bad, you need to share the real picture. So that's how you become a hit, right?
Yeah. Next, please. Next slide.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this will give you a picture of what multi-lane free flow. So now we are at the juncture of RFID, which is the radio frequency identification. I don't know how many of you already have your RFID slapped onto your windscreen, but if you're still using your touch and go card, it's fine. It's still applicable.
Smart tag.
Yes, your smart tag. Smart tag is actually touch and go card punya conduit for the
Yes.
reader, right? So we will eventually go to single lane free flow, then multi-lane free flow. As you can see, there are no toll booth, there's no structure, right? So that means things will become hopefully less congested. But remember, congestion is not a highway problem. Many people think it's a highway problem. If you look at it, congestion is a car ownership problem, right? But having a toll to stop by, you do impact congestion. That is why we want to move from the toll lanes to an MLFF lane. And also the reason why I use the title Communicating at the Speed of MLFF, it's very robust, very vibrant, vibrant in Plus, right? Issues come in from all angles, from all quarters, from various stakeholders. So the team in communication needs to be agile and be able to pivot, to catch up and embrace and take all these challenges or all these pain points and help transfer them and build content and output that will actually continue to position Plus in the most positive light, in the most honest light possible. Right? Okay, next.
Next.
So as you can see where we're meeting now, I guess before 18th of March, we might be in auditorium in UPM. So as the new normal has actually kept us more than an arm's length away, but while it's physical distancing, it is not social distancing because we're very, very much connected socially, right? So I've just given you a short snippet of who we are in Plus. We are 3,800 strong. We are 1,100 kilometers long, and we are actually the backbone of the Malaysian economy. And during the COVID situation, the pandemic, MTO, real trust made a huge difference to the lives of not only us, but especially the frontliners, where they were able to get their sustenance, their equipment, and all that. So we realized Plus is just not highway stones or the material that makes a highway, but we are more than that. We are connection to bring you back home safely. We're a connection to eratkan the silaturahim between you and your loved ones. And we're the ones that enable you to get your tenants, your rezeki to work. And all this is made possible because as Plus, being a highway concessionaire, we are governed by our regulator, which is Lembaga Lebuh Raya Malaysia, right?
Yeah.
They keep everything very safe for the rakyat. And above that, we have to thank our government, KKR, or the Ministry of Works, for giving us all this guidance and opportunity to do what we do today for the people in Malaysia using our highways.
Okay.
All right.
Tuan Syed, is that your opening line tonight?
Yes, that was my opening line. A bit long, eh?
No. I didn't say that. It's okay. It's good because not many people know about Plus. Most of us consumers, we take the road, the highway to connect us from point A to B. That's it. We do not know about who they are, what they're doing. We pay the toll. Those days, the tendency was not to pay the toll. Today, you have to pay the toll. No problem. But they okay. Now we have to. I mean, now we're getting to know more about Plus. It's been around for what, 30 years? I think 30 years.
32 years. 32 years.
32 years.
32
All right.
years.
I was in Kedah at that time. I was working in Kedah in Bernama when Plus came into being. They have the we joined the Plus highway from Sungai Petani up to Penang. Very small stretch. All right. Having said that, I like to thank you for your opening remarks, Tuan Syed, and the slides. Very one thing I like to point out. You can say all the jargons thing, whatnot, everything. Or to me, it's only one matters. RNR. This is the best thing that's happening to us. You travel a long day, a few hours. You stop at the RNR to really take an RNR, relax and rewind. Or whatever, there's also terms in Malay. Rehat dan
Rawat. Yeah.
I don't know I don't know the rawat part, but the rehat I know. The rawat part I don't know. Maybe
rejuvenate.
Rejuvenate, resuscitate, or refill petrol.
Yes.
Refill your tummy. Refill your tummy also.
Yes, and also reload your touch and go card.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh no. Some people like me, we are different. We reload the touch and go at our local petrol station before we hit the highway. We don't want to take the we don't want to kalang kabut on the highway, you know, the petrol.
Yes.
All right.
You are our dream customer.
Thank you, sir. So, okay, I'd like to welcome Dr. Megat, technologist Dr. Megat, to deliver his opening remark in this webinar. Please, sir, Doctor.
All right. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you very much, Tuan Syed, Idid, from corporate communication class. And then for information that this class is the Master of Corporate Communication classes. And most of our students here, or I don't call the student, our members here in this class is those OTAI group also as well, who has a lot of experience. So I believe that this session, in my classroom session also, is actually a sharing session where we gather information, we exchange ideas, and we exchange experience between the members of the classes and also people from outside. For example, our learned Mr. Syed, who has vast experience in corporate communication. So the class today is communication and decision making. So it's part of the classes, important classes to the members of this Masters of Corporate Communication class in UPM. So I thank you very much, Mr. Syed, for your sharing session, because a lot of information here that you presented in your slide today involve very much to what we discussed in our class session. One of them is the strategic planning. For example, the vision and mission, that one is part of the important things that we discuss also in this classroom, how to set up the vision and mission or strategic planning for the organization. So plus is to me is in terms of the stakeholder, the government is the biggest stakeholder in plus, right? Is the biggest stakeholder in plus. So Khazanah, can you?
Khazanah and EPF.
Khazanah and EPF, right? All right. So Khazanah, is there any group of any other company holding some stake in Plus? For example, UEM or any other company? United Engineers.
Yes. We own 51. Yeah. Yes. We are 51% owned by UEM via Khazanah via UEM.
Via
UEM. 49% EPF.
Yeah. So the rest, how about the rest?
So the Khazanah is the Khazanah ownership is through UEM, 51%.
Okay.
49% fully under EPF. You belongs to Zukri, belongs to everyone here who has an EPF account.
Everyone become the stakeholder of this plus actually, right? Even though we are paying for the toll, right? For the toll that when we pass through this highway, actually we are paying to ourselves, lah.
Exactly.
Yes. And more than that, the value of paying the toll is you are actually paying for the comfort, the safety, the services of the Plus Ronda, having the facilities at your back and call.
The experience also.
Okay, back to the history, Mr. Syed, if you remember, Plus project is part of this privatization project by the government of Malaysia during Tuan time in 1987, right? Started, I think, 1987, right. That means that, under the privatization policy by Malaysian government during the time. So, what they experienced when previously all our infrastructure, especially the road, is under JKR, right, under Jabatan Kerja Raya, Jabatan Kerja Raya. But now this highway being taken over by the private company as part of the privatization policy during started in 1980 something, at the end 1987 started, right? So what actually we can learn from the process of the government decided to to shift the responsibility of infrastructure to the private company. It's considered to be private company, not under the government. What actually make the government decided, and how could we say in terms of the success story through this privatization policy based on the experience of Plus?
Okay, a very, very pertinent question that many people don't ask, except for you, Doctor, but it's a very good question. I believe that one of the factors, of course, privatization is funding, right? So private companies have the fund to invest and to build these infrastructures. But while it's privatized in that sense, the government is very, very much in the, I would say, in an oversight control, because we have the Lembaga Lebuh Malaysia, and they set up the parameters, the do's and don'ts in terms of every concessionaire when they want to build their highway. Everything that you experience on the highway doesn't happen just because of the highway concessionaire themselves. It needs prior approval from the government, right? So even the structure of the R&R that you see, even the offerings in the R&R, the street lamps, where the pavement are, everything is all blueprint, all have to be submitted. So everything that we do, even for RFID that is coming up, we need the sanction and the blessing of the government, right? They will monitor, they will have this measurement for all highway concessionaires. So in terms of the decision making, it is a joint decision in very much the aspect when everything is rolled out, that there is a consensus from our regulator, the Lembaga Lebuh Malaysia, as well as our board of directors, that these things are to be executed when it comes to initiatives for the highway. Does that answer your question, Doctor?
Yeah. Okay. So the price always become the center of the discussion, all right? The center of discussion among especially the opposition party, right, on the price, and then the burden that the road user has to pay to use this thing, and then people always take comparison with, between other countries that don't have. They have the free, they have the highway also, multi-lane highway, but they are free. So how every year this come over and over, all right. So a period of time, long period of time, this issue has been debated a lot in Parliament, for example, discussed in the newspaper, and then the opposition party make it as an issue to be debated, all right, to get the attention from the Malaysian citizens. So how Plus,
Yeah.
okay, in helping the government to control or to control these issues, that what Plus is doing and what the government is doing is for the benefit of people. Because as you know, last time also during the election, the PH government, PH party also, Pakatan Harapan also, they wanted to abolish toll, and initially their recommendation was to abolish toll, and then the government, the Pakatan Harapan government, understood that it is something quite difficult for us to abolish this system. So actually, what is actually the behind the story of this?
Okay. So yeah, This is a very exciting topic. One thing I can assure you, Doctor and Zukri and everybody, this will
Yeah.
be a point of contention as long as toll highways exist. Even in foreign lands where there are toll highways, paying toll highways, it has always been a political, what you call it, a tool for
Yeah.
both sides of the divide. But one thing, what we do understand is the normal fundamental question that people will always ask is, why do we need to pay toll?
Yeah.
And I think if we go back to way before the concept of highways or expressways were created, when we had the normal jalan kerajaan, the federal roads, of course
Yeah.
we grew up
Jalan Persekutuan.
right, not paying anything, right? And even that time we were also asking, why do we need to pay road tax?
Yeah.
Right? Why is this road, we're driving on this road, why do we need to pay road tax? Right? But I think as the clarion call that time was to abolish toll. I think we all here, we know, we possible, right? Because at the end of the day, you're talking about maintenance. You're talking about infrastructure that needs to be taken care of, right?
Yeah.
And plus,
Yeah.
being a 32-year-old asset, right, needs a lot of care. I mean, let's put it this way: senior citizen, I think you need more medical attention than a 20-year-old, correct? So similarly, plus is the same. It's 30-year-old. But it is a very strategic backbone of the country. And a lot of the transportation from the seaport, from the airport, right from Thailand down to Singapore, it's a critical pathway, right? So if you say, let's abolish paying toll, the question is, so who bears the brunt? Oh, government. If government did have the funds in the first place, there wouldn't be concessionaires, right?
They will have
So I
put
think
it, the government would have put it himself. Yeah.
everybody goes on the very that word is your most the common denominator is about money, right? So you
Right.
think you feel the pinch, right? But a lot of people also don't realize where it comes to Plus. Plus have not risen its toll rates, and under the concession agreement with the government, every highway concession you're supposed to increase your toll rates. Plus have not done so for the past 15 years, ladies and gentlemen.
How many years, Tuan Syed, the cycle that you had,
15
you
years.
no, I mean,
And early
how many
this year,
years?
we reduced existing toll rate that were never risen. 15 years, that night,
Yeah, I know. According to
right?
the agreement,
So
the
while people say, so you're supposed to increase,
every
15
I
years.
think 5% every 3 years,
every
Every-
3 years.
right?
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So the under concession agreement, so we have not, right? Because yeah. So it's 15 years, right? So 15 years that night, and with the reduction of 18%, our rates are actually 1996 rates, right? So you're actually paying you're using a future-proof highway, but you're paying back to the future punya toll fare. So actually, I think everybody's getting a really good deal, right? And at the same time, if all the EPF holders are saying, this the 49%, there's no more toll payment. Well, then, are you willing to see the impact on your dividend?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a lot of implication, all right? And we know generally people are driven by emotions, at the heat of the moment, and predominantly, I think when all of us are students of communication, I don't claim to be an expert. I'm still learning about communications. But one thing is very clear: in the different social media platforms that we encounter, we know the persona of the social media platforms are different, right? I really enjoy LinkedIn because I find the interaction very appreciative of the things that are posted there, that I post. The comments are very professional, are very positive, it builds on, right? So it's very positive. Whereas on Facebook, you get a plethora of human beings which are easily triggered, right? On Instagram, it's everything about beauty because it's visual titillation, and of course,
That's
Twitter,
right. That's right.
Twitter is about headline. So if you break down a newspaper, Twitter is your headline. Facebook is your celebrity page, right? And Instagram is also your celebrity pictures. I would say LinkedIn is more of your corporate, professional news of the type, and of course, YouTube is your entertainment page, lah.
You got it right there. But the Facebook is actually, to say, the rakyat, the people's page.
Yes,
That's
yes,
where the cursing all.
yes. I know.
Okay, gentlemen. All right. Sorry to interrupt you, Tuan. Gentlemen, let's get back to our topic. Communication and this at the speed of MLFF. Like I said, this is a free-flowing session. We like to know from Tuan Syed, the experience, the communication experience. You don't have to tell us about 1 year being in the past. No. It's like you've been there forever because the way you're doing things, the way you're doing things, you are a pro, real pro.
I have leadership. I have a good team. That's why it looks very robust.
All right. How large is your strength your team strength in corporate communication?
Yeah.
Yeah, we will call corporate community and public engagement because
right.
3 pillars. So my team are actually in the call. So corporate engagement, it's about dealing with media and dealing with the government. Well, the community is talking about our community-based programs, our plus fence line people, right? And then, of course, with our PDRM, our partners in JPJ.
Right. Yes.
And public engagement, that's where we talk about public advocacy, but there's also the digital platform in terms of social media. So if any one of you would care to go into Plus Malaysia, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, we also have LinkedIn. We have 2 plus Twitters. They're all managed by my team of, we have a team of 16, and we also have 3 proteges. So there's about 19 of us, right? So
wow.
Yeah. So the team manages all this. It's a very robust and the enterprise focus value that we have is we collaborate and work very closely to support our internal customers, which is commercial and marketing, HSSC, operations excellence, traffic safety, procurement, human resource. And human resource, we link up with their ICIT, which is the internal communications and employee engagement, right? Because we believe that when you communicate, it has to be inside out branding. Your people need to be aware first. They need to believe what your initiatives and your message that you're going to put out, right? Before we
right.
So
Agreed.
external and in your staff don't say, "Hey, when did this come out? We didn't know this." So we have
right.
One of your questions is about internal communications, right? We will come to that, and I'll share with you how. I don't know whether Shah MB is inside. She's from our IC. She's a head of ICE. Okay.
Yeah, she's here. For the information of our gentlemen tonight, there are 22 people with us in this session, and I do not know how many are following us through the Facebook on CMCI. But anyway, as before we probe further about the communication part in the Plus business, you know, I just want to point out one thing, Doctor and Tuan Syed. Today it's not about not paying toll anymore. That question doesn't arise anymore. It's about why is this highway congested? When are we going to have our next highway? What are the other highways available? You know, going back to Alustar, like me, my kampung is in Alustar. I've not been back there for many months, not because of MCO, because my own MCO, because I just hate to be caught in the highway. So I cannot take the federal road. There's no choice. I can't afford a helicopter to go back. I don't want to be traveling by the bus or the train or fly because I like to drive. You know, it's a very good highway. So now we were asking Plus, when are you going to have another Plus highway? That is the question, actually.
All right. I think that question we will leave it to the government to answer, right? Because at the end of the day, if you're talking about congestion when you balik kampung for Raya or Chinese New Year, we need to be accepting the fact that no highway in the world is built for festivity, right?
Yes.
We all have 8 lanes highways, left and right? Now, that's where the RFID to MLFF is so important, right? As we get more penetration and more Malaysian adopting RFID on their travel, the more seamless and the lesser congestion. I do not believe that anywhere you can eliminate congestion is a matter of what is the gravity of the congestion situation, because Malaysians are very rich people. One household can have 5 cars these days.
5 cars, exactly.
Right? So you see, we love our cars, right? And as long as we love our cars, there will be congestion. Now, whether Plus, there are questions of whether Plus can extend the highway, whether you can have more lanes. There has been a lot of real-life examples. The more lanes the highway has, the more congested it becomes.
It is. It's a human tendency, you know.
Yes.
Tuan Syed, let me interrupt you there. I'm not taking a swipe at you about the highway. No.
No, I understand.
It's not about the highway. It's about the users, us, me, people like me, you know, and the other people who do not understand. You know, Chinese New Year, Melayu balik kampung. Deepavali, Melayu balik kampung. Christmas, Melayu balik kampung. I don't know why. You know, Raya Melayu memang Melayu balik kampung lah, but ada festive Melayu balik kampung juga. For what? You know?
Now every Saturday and Sunday also balik kampung.
That's right. Even for they can only sleep for few hours with their parents, family. They will go. You know, and then now there's one more thing, Doctor and Tuan Syed. There is this called, there is a group, growing number, 120,000 people, Nasi Kandak lovers. They call it hunters, or NKH. I'm sure Tuan Syed aware about this.
Yes.
They just go to Penang, tapau, and come back to KL. That's it, you know. These are the people who's going to congest the highway. Okay, all right, never mind. Now, okay, let's go back to our discussion about communication in Plus. So how do you...
Right, I got one question, right, because it really touched my heart, you know. It really, because I did post one posting on my Facebook, right, regarding the initial move by Plus whenever they abolished the reload function near the toll booth, right? So that triggered complaints from the users, the road users, as well as the minister requested Plus to prepare the toll booth with where people still can pay to top up the card. So in doing so, right? So I believe that Plus has had still have, I think, because you're presenting on MLFF, your communication plan started, not only communication plan, with your plan to resolve this issue of this highway congestion at the toll booth. Okay, I think that become quite a few a month before the people get used to it. I think it become an issue around the society, around people, around the users. So how you did the planning, how you communicate the until now, I can feel that the users get used to it now. They know that before they get down, and then they know that even though there is no big sign at the end of any toll booth that they will exit, right? They will have one toll, even though there is no sign at all, but they still can pay for the to top up their touch and go. Okay, can you respond that, Mr. Syed?
Can. So our communication plan, right, stems from way before we activated this no reload at the exit lane. Right?
Yeah.
In 2017, the entire plus toll lanes have already gone into electronic toll collection. So that's where you see the touch and go cards, you see the smart tag, right? So that single toll lane is only one toll lane, which many people do not realize. It's always at the far left where the multi-class lane is. And the multi-class
Yes, that's right.
consists of the buses and everything else, right?
Lorries.
Correct. So what we have found out at that time, we had that, we call it baki kurang assistance. Because we realized that a lot of people, it's all about habit changing, right? Prior to that, it was all cash transaction. So while we implemented the ETC, we still have that support and help by that lane to help those who are still functioning with cash. So it is actually, kalau I pergi and I have insufficient balance, baki kurang, then the CSA there will say, okay, we help you to top up so that you can go on your way. And at that time in 2017, the touch and go reload zones were not that many, right? But as we evolve and over time, from MAA, the Malaysian Automobile Association, the figures of our cars keep burgeoning and keep increasing. We found out that these people who acclimatized from a support help of baki kurang, they took it as inilah tempat reload tepi jalan. So the concept is very different. One was to help, but the mindset became an expected. So I'm entitled to reload, right? And there was also another mindset that I don't want to make touch and go rich by filling it up with $50. I want to have cukup because I'm going to go there daily. So I just want to stop and put my $5 in. Now, on our all the sections, we of course take all these measurement because we collect duit . So from the measurement, we found out, it's not a big deal. Out of the entire 1.7 million daily commuters, it's 5% who are this baki kurang.
Only 5%, yeah?
Yes. So but 5% pun, kalau 1.7 tu banyak juga kan? But you spread over nationwide. So can you imagine, Doctor, kita punya Jalan Duta, hari-hari 980 cars baki kurang. If you are diligent and you are responsibly like Zukri, never wanting to get stuck, always having his touch and go fully reloaded, so he won't get
always.
Imagine
Always.
you are behind 10 cars who baki kurang. Is it fair to you? You
Not
have
fair to me at all.
So that's why we took the decision. Said, look, we and of course at this point in time when we activated it, the universe of the self-reload kiosk by Touch and Go was already at a number of 13,000 units, right?
Yeah.
Right? And across even within the Plus ecosystem, the highway, we had about 67 reloads. And even before coming into Plus, the question is, we all will automatically tengok kalau near E, we will go and top up our petrol. And in the petrol station, you can reload.
You can.
If you want to go to 7-Eleven and you want to buy a Kit Kat, you can reload. If you want to go to your bank and take out money to give your wife to beli benda, there's also the reload. You can also reload there. So there were multiple. And now with the e-wallet, it's even easier. That's why,
no excuse. No more excuse.
That's why, Doctor, when you go forward, as you said, the congestion, Zukri, RFID is the most plausible solution that we're heading. And actually, this is also the government's vision of MLFF, right? So what we know, when you have the e-wallet, right, you can tune your e-wallet. Like me, I travel, I make sure that if Baki goes down to 20, the e-wallet will have a default top up to $100, right? Because my e-wallet is shared between my RFID and my wife's RFID. So I'm paying for it, right? But the good thing is, in the e-wallet, when you travel, you see the money, so you know bila nak top up. But once you activate the default, you dah tak payah. And now we're having the open payment system where eventually you tie to your credit card, your bank account and all
debit card, yeah.
Debit card. So, you know, unless your Jolo splurge away everything on the black card, then there's a bit. but and even more so now, now under this unprecedented times of the pandemic, contactless and cashless is the solution, right?
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
is the platform now, right? That's why we still cannot fathom that people still want to baki kurang at the lane, take out the cash and go to the CSA. The CSA pun takut nak ambil the duit. and if it was me, I pun akan was-was. Why should I put myself at risk? If the CSA give me back the change, the guy
betul.
The guy before that, was he positive or negative? I don't know, right?
That's right.
So the simplest thing is, I always tell people, even before I joined Plus, and I've been using the Touch and Go Smart Tag, my own thinking is this: is just like planning your life, financial planning, journey planning, everything. So you know that daily you are going to use this amount of transaction because you're going to work, and then you factor in if you're going to go outstation once a month, and then you have a sum total, and then you plonk in. So what we've done, Doctor, is in terms of our communication, we have used infographics, and we have and CCP have a fabulous, we call them our DVT ladies, our data visualization team. It's a
Yes.
of ladies. You met her, Najiha, Haida, and
Yeah.
We've also got a guy, Nazrin, who does our Plus Live. So we have actually our own TV station called, and it's on YouTube, right? And when we're using all social media platforms to engage, to reach out, to communicate, to get feedback, right? So and my team knows, even though sometimes, as Datuk Zukri knows, kan, sometimes the on Facebook they're very keras lah cara dia cakap, kan. But I tell my team, relax, sabar, because it's every cry is a cry for help, right? What we need to do in communication is break down that noise. Actually, what are they asking, right? Take away all the swear words. They're asking for help, right? So and we have to be courageous because we believe in what we're doing. We have to be courageous to pick those who genuinely are calling out for help and engage them, right? But we also need to be clever and suss out those who are really trolls with agenda. And you can see there's a trend. They're very clear. I mean, like tonight, you know, people were trying to hack in, right? So you know, those people already have an agenda, right? And also now, For Plus, our theme for this year is breaking through disruption, and very much so we know even in our communication landscape we're disrupted. We're disrupted in so many fronts. The biggest disruption was our friends in the media who lost their jobs, right? And they themselves have started to build their own content and platform.
This is what we call digital disruption.
And yes, but it's also, doctor, but it also can be a plus and a minus point, because if I've lost my livelihood, what is my agenda? My agenda is to survive. So I can become a cyber trooper for hire.
That's right.
Right?
Guns for hire. Guns for hire.
Yes. And now what happens for organizations like Plus, we have to also, like everyone else, under this COVID-19, be diligently looking out for fake news. This is what communication is now. Our battlefront is fake news, is falsified news, which is real news. Suddenly they tweak it to make it to have that reality, but actually it's false. And misinformation. Misinformation is very dangerous.
Disinformation. Actually, it's disinformation. Misinformation is by default or tak sengaja. Disinformation is purposely menceritakan yang palsu. Disinformation.
No, but the misinformation, Datuk Zukri, I have to say this lah. Misinformation comes from what I call the family WhatsApp group. where your so-called respected elders who are supposedly credible, they start sharing without verifying. Then
betul.
If those within the family tak tahu nak verify, they take this misinformation and they think it's real. And then
copy and paste lah. Copy and paste.
Yes. I still remember my you know, we're northerners, right? So most of us from Sungai Petani, right? So
one more thing, Tuan Syed.
One
more thing, other than misinformation, there is a disinformation. So to me, there is one term that I still remember that we always use when I was studying undergraduate at UIA. You know, we call it information richer society, but ignorance. We are rich in terms of the information, but the information doesn't benefit us actually. It's just useless. Too much information until make us confused.
Correct. And you know what, doctor, you are so right there, because remember when the big hoo-ha came about us closing that toll lane, right? We had an explanation out, right? And the explanation out, we will still help you. You don't get out of your car, you stop and press the butang, we will come and help you reload. This was before COVID, Before COVID, So that time you can have the human interface. Suddenly, it came back out during CMCO time, right? So the other thing about as doctor put it, when they use this type of information, they replay. The other thing about fake news and all this sort of disinformation, it gets replayed in social media. And because our audience is so fragmentized and segmentized, there will be a portion that believes in it, right? And that is the danger. So if you get into the wrong group that has influence, then it's kind of like balloons into something else. So as communicators, we need to be very diligent. We have to put our face now into Google, put our face into the social media sphere, scroll and troll and all these informations, check and verify, right?
Yes, and respond.
Yes, and that's where the communicating in the speed of MLFF, because all these things can come from different angles, right? Sometimes it comes all the way from the top, sometimes it comes back from the ground, sometimes it hits you on the left, it hits you in the center, the face. So what do, right? What I tell them to do is, take a breather, relax, look at the information, stare at it for a while,
right?
Read it one more time,
Yeah.
right? Because no point in rushing out to respond They suddenly find that you have tripped. And to repair that and remedy that would take much, much more effort. Right?
Mark Twain, Mark Twain. Do not forget Mark Twain. All right,
Yes,
so
yes.
say, tonight we're going to continue talking about challenges of communication in the highway business that you are doing. Okay, just to update you on that, what you said just now about this, people simply believing the falsehood about Plus. These are simple people, simpletons, country bumpkins. In America, they call it country bumpkins. Uncle Joe or Uncle Tom, they believe. I'm sorry, doctor.
Tom, Dick, and
But
Harry.
people like me, people like doctor, we do not believe this kind of things. And most of these people who are going around with the bad mouth Plus, they are not really the one using Plus highways. No, they're just using the federal roads. They will come to Plus maybe through the back way alley. I don't know. The real people like me, the users like me, we top up outside the highway. I do not top up on the highway. I top up outside the highway, and I enjoy the R&R. And I'm just amazed. I just want to ask some questions. I'm just amazed about the communication challenges every day, daily, because the toll thing is one issue. Congestion is another. There could be other issues. The challenges faced by Plus Comms, or every day, 24/7. Translate. What do you have to say about that?
Well, yeah, you're right. And Datuk Zukri, I would quantify that. Not all of the haters or detractors are country bumpkins. We had a few celebrities. We had people
really?
who returned from Australia, right? But they were not aware of the no reload at the lane, right? So of course they went on the track and they went on Instagram and blah 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 blah. But the good thing about this, right? The challenges that what we have, whatever brickbats we get, we assess it and we engage. Because
right.
I believe in one thing. As I said, first, it is always a cry for help. Second, if we can make them understand and turn them into ally, and I think this is where every communicator should have the courage to do. It's just not communicating to tell you, tada, this is the fact about me. The communicator should be on an authentic, caring communicator and embrace, and it's like pulling a friend to the shoulder and say, hey, actually, tell me what's wrong. How can I help? What's the real problem? Right? More often than not, public relation communicators seems to be very defensive about their organization and telling them, oh, no, So you come out with statements or you come out with letters to editors to explain, I'm not involved, you guys are, at the end of the day. That's the message you're sending, right? But if you communicate with data, if you communicate with a sense of empathy, you will win the audience over. It's not
Yes.
It's not an easy thing to do because as communicators, we are also human. We also get triggered. But there's where I believe we have a bigger role to play. We have a bigger role to play that we say, hey, if I can actually help this person see things in the same perspective as I do, that's already a big plus in terms of the attitude towards your organization. And inshallah, it will help strengthen the trust and reputation of the organization. Many times it's about being standoffish. That's why people don't trust politicians. Politicians is all about, I'm right, I'm here, right? Do as I say, for me and you'll get this, right? But they never say, I'm not going to do all this. You tell me what's your problem, Rayat. I will come and help you the best that I can. And you have to be honest and vulnerable. Nowadays, fear, leadership, and driving directives doesn't work anymore. Because we are so exposed in this transparent social media world, we can see We can see whether this guy is genuine or not, whether this guy is taking us for a ride. We will make our decision and we decide. And I think you've seen that in our current, our GEs and coming GEs. You see that, right? People are now making the decision. And the more layers of our onions that we peel in public, the more they will see us, our nakedness. And if your nakedness is something horrible, then be prepared for the repercussion or the consequences. But if your layer of onion is something that's beautiful, it's magnificent, and it brings to the heart the things that are good, then the reaction and the support will come in. Right?
Okay, very good.
So,
Okay, one more question.
to share one more thing. While we get all these complaints or breakbacks and so many issues, I have realized in this, because we also measure our customer satisfaction, we measure our net promoters, we measure our advocates, and then it collates to our reputation index. What has shown us is, as long as we continue to share, to make aware and educate what steps that we are proactively taking for the betterment of the people, the highway customers, there is a positive impact, right? Because at the end of the day, we just realize, as Datuk Zukri said, Facebook is actually a world on itself. And Jahabar Sadiq told us this, all the PR practitioners. The people in Facebook are predominantly bangsa. Right? So he said, communicators, you need to go to the ground, you need to go to the kampung. You get to see. And we have done that because through our community engagement. And honestly, they are very kind people. They are very, I met this Pakcik, and I know that he had baki kurang. I came out from the surau at our toll plaza. Then I saw him standing there with his touch and go card wanting to reload. He doesn't know how to reload because he doesn't come often and use the highway, right? So we are cognizant of that fact, and that's why we'll always be there to help people like this.
All right. Let's proceed to the other important part of the question. Decision making. All right, decision making. For example, I'm going to give you an example, Tuan Syed. You are on highway with your team. Then you have to decide something of an urgent, matter of urgency on the highway while you are driving or you've been driven on the highway, How do you do that? Because I don't think you want to go back to the office to decide, meeting, lapas, semua. You have to decide, your CEO calls you have to decide on the spot while being driven or driving on the highway. How do you do that, Tuan Syed? Decision making.
Okay. So firstly, I'm never driven. I have to drive myself. But yes, sometimes when we go for events, my team member will drive because they know this.
Of course.
So we are actually perpetually on our work streams in WhatsApp, right? We also have, we even have our Microsoft Teams on our handphone, and the decision making. And let me share this with you. Based on that corporate value of enterprise focus, this is where the power of decision making comes in, because we are constantly in communication, open and transparent on a daily basis. We all are able to understand the challenges, the issues, and collectively help each other come up with solutions, and the decision becomes faster. When March 18 hit us, I think we're just like everyone else. It's from the blue. Nobody knows what is COVID-19.
Yeah.
One thing, that's why I said leadership, and that's why I go back to the art of communication is the language of leadership. Dato Azman pulled all us together. We set up our CMT, Crisis Management Team. And it consists of all the senior leaders in PLUS, from operations, HSSC, you name it, everybody. It is an enterprise-focused unit. And I say that the crisis has made us into one single unit. And continue to have meetings. We started on that first period, it was an everyday meeting, right?
Right.
Everyday meeting, an update meeting, and then we go off. And that time, first it started was like 3 hours long. It went down to 2 hours. Now it's gone down to 1 hour, and now it's not daily. It's gone to weekly, right? But what it did is we are now so connected individually as a team. We are all connected. So whatever we know, we more or less can understand. Now I know what is my head of Operation Excellence Yusof going to think and do. I can support him. I know what is Pazli, our head of traffic safety, going to do. Right? I know what Kafai, HSSC head was to do. So where the decision making comes, the pokoknya is leadership has to be clear. Leadership has to have a strong direction.
Right.
And you set the direction, we will be on track. So even though we reduce the number of interaction from daily to weekly, we are still connected.
All right.
So the gadgets, the computers and all that are just tools. But
right.
we fuse into a new sort of animal. The DNA of the decision making animal of plus have evolved. We're I think now if you want to say, I think we're like the COVID punya bola lah. If you see the COVID thing sticking out, right? So all those tentacles, so we are one. All those tentacles are our different department getting different fillers from all the aspect of their jobs, and it all goes back into that one ball.
Yeah.
Okay, comment from Dr. Megat, our expert and our lecturer on decision making, of what Tuan Syed said just now. The the decision making vis-a-vis on the COVID-19, Doctor. Come on, your opinion or your comment, Doctor.
Yeah, Zukri, what I'm interested to know that we have a few international students, right, from our classes. All right, we got Syed, we got Marina Fang, we got some international students in our group. So I just want to get their opinion, all right, with regard to the with regard to their point of view about PLUS compared to the system in Iraq. For example, I remember in Iraq last time when I traveled from Qadisiyah Point to Baghdad, it's about 1,000 kilometers through the highway from Jordan. Jordan is very narrow route, and then from Qadisiyah Point to Baghdad, it's 4 lane straight. And then it was back to 1996. When first you come to Malaysia, Syed, how you view about these services provided by the Malaysian government? How you compare with yourself or any other country that you, maybe some other student from China, maybe they can compare services that available in your country.
All right, first of all, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. Dr. Megat and our new, let's say, visitor for today for our class, Mr. Syed, you are so welcome, Syed Dean. And thank you, Zukri, for this beautiful session, webinar.
All right, okay.
And I want to start it with what Dr. Megat say. I want to say one of the war reason in 2003, it was an economic reason to get a war on Iraq. And one of this reason, there is a connected road between Basra, it's the most city on the south of Iraq, who connected with Istanbul, and that's mean Europe.
Yeah.
So you can connect the Gulf country with Europe is only in one straight road.
Highway.
And there is straight road highway, and there is no any cities on it. It's only in a highway. You will never get in city. It was an amazing project, but it didn't complete until now. the thing that I'm really shocked about it, paying money. Okay, after 1 year here in Malaysia, I understand that we are paying something really simple for tool. Okay, to get a service. Okay, uh, in Iraq, I think Dr. Mikat see the road there, the highways. It's beautiful, but it's not that clean. It's not that serviced well like Malaysian highways.
Mm.
I travel here in Malaysia. I have been in Penang by car. I've been in Kuala Terengganu. I've been in Belize. I've been in a lot of cities that I have visited. I pay the toll because I'm sure that I'm gonna get a great services, and this is the point. So services with a simple amount of tool, I mean it's great, and I'm okay with it. But in my country, I don't think that the people will accept it at the beginning. So if we want to transfer this project to Iraq, maybe we need some time to let the people engage and understand that the services will be better than normal highways that we see. So it's a great experience here to get it from Malaysia. And services, as I say, services is great on tools. So you will be like more safe than the other roads. Uh, and I remember my first trip, I asked a friend who stayed here in Malaysia more than 7 years. He's an Iraqi. And I asked him, I want to go to Penang. Is there another way? I don't want to pay a tool. He said, no, just pay it because you will understand why after you pay it. So I was shocked. So I just pay it, okay? And it was my first trip. So at the beginning, no, why I'm paying for, 40 something to Penang from here. And after that, I noticed that the services is great. The street is so clean. The everything is great. I love it. I love it. I love this experience. I love it. Yeah, and thank you so much for giving me the chance to speak about the experiences and the differences between here and Iraq. Yeah.
Mr. Zai, I just want to inform you one thing, right? One thing. When I was traveling along the Plus Highway, it happened to be several times my car break down, and then I got this assistance from the Plus people, right? So sometimes when they come and help me looking at them, you know. So what I normally do, I give them 10 ringgit, 10, 20 ringgit, you know, to help me to fix my tire sometimes, to help me to this part. To me, it doesn't mean I want to bribe them, like just my thanks to them. Is it something that's not normally your organization can accept this one, a token or appreciation to your staff?
Yeah, you see, we appreciate our staff, and we also have an integrity policy. So from last year, we had our integrity pledge, and we invited SPRM. And in terms of gift taking or gift giving, there are certain amounts, but predominantly we say thank you, but please, we have a no gift policy, right? So, but sometimes I know it's from the heart, and sometimes even for me we tip, right? We tip. So, but for Plus, our people, even I think we had some gifts from even the media do send us gifts, but I have to turn it away, right? Because at the end of the day, we do things because it's our job and we do it sincerely. But I'm also very happy to note, Doctor, that you do appreciate our Plus Ronda, because just for the understanding of everybody, in a concession agreement, the element of a highway patrol is not a mandatory must that any highway have to have. actually the existence of the Plus Ronda was actually Plus' own desire for keeping
help, yeah.
safety and to take care of you at every step of the way. So this year actually is our 30th anniversary. Plus Ronda was born on the 1st of April 1990. And we have 572 or 74 Plus Ronda. So as you say, Mr. Shaif, right, from Iraq, you all won't see them, right? They actually ply along the 1,100 kilometers. We are broken into 3 regions: central, northern, and southern, and we have the east coast. And over that length, we have different sections. And each section, there are 2 patrolling Plus Rondas that go on a loop. So the response time for a Plus Ronda is within 30 to 20 minutes.
Wow, mashallah.
So they're there to assist if you have a tire puncture. They are there if there's a big accident. And I think sometimes people get upset when there is a huge traffic incident and you're stuck, right?
Yeah.
Right. And because sometimes the configuration of the lane, it takes time to maneuver. They need to go through another way to come and clear. We had a mini crisis of sorts, I think, earlier, a few months back. If you all read, I think it was for 24 hours, highway customers were stuck because there was this lorry with a lot of metal pieces, right?
Like that, yeah.
Yeah. So, and we had to bring in a magnet excavator lorry, right? We didn't want to open the lane because we don't know the metal debris could even cause puncture and endanger the lives of the people in the car. So while the netizens may not understand why we did what we did, but we had to do what we do for the greater safety of everyone, right? And safety takes time. And one thing we realize now, in the new normal, everything will be longer. You go to the R&R now, our R&R is still open. Our business partners are there to still serve you, but you need to take your temperature, you need to record your My Sejahtera, you need to line up to take your physical, your physical distancing, right? And
the new norm.
Yes, so it takes more time, right? But having said that, crisis is the mother of invention, right? So during this time, to help our business partner and this community engagement, the commercial team built up within our app, they call the pre-order app, pre-order function in our Plus app. So there are selected R&R. If you're traveling and you don't want to stop by in the R&R, you want to rush and go, but you're hungry, you can go to the app and pre-order the food, then you go and collect it at the R&R. Right?
Okay.
So the app is free. So please, everybody, download the Plus app today, right? And for Syed, if you want to go, there's your journey planner there. If you now you go to Penang, before the 18% was 50 ringgit. Now you go, it's only 44 ringgit. So more value for money now.
Thank you so much. But I have one thing I want to say. There is a promotion and discounts for students in normal transportation, right? There is a promotion for the transportation, the normal transportation here in Malaysia. I mean the bus, the train, stuff like that.
I think the government
So why we don't apply this promotions, student promotions, on the tool? This is one point.
On the toll?
Yeah.
Because the toll, what you're paying for the toll is an allocated cost for for maintenance and all that. But eventually, what we are going to do is we're looking at dynamic tolling in the future, right? So dynamic tolling comes with our digitalization and our AI. In the future, where we can read your car and get the customer database, that dynamic tolling will actually help us. So if you're from the B40 group, right? They're the group, right? So if they're traveling, they might get a price because we know they're B40. So that is one of the digital visions that we're aiming
But please consider the students in the future.
Oh yeah, of course.
You have to. I agree
We
with
are
Syed.
students now. There is a class now full of students, right?
Don't worry. I am 52. I'm still trying to get the 50% senior citizen. Okay.
Wow.
Not yet qualified. Not yet
Yeah, I know.
qualified.
No, but
Not yet qualified.
correct. But where I'm coming from is, of course, all of us want discounts.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
guys.
you so much. Thank you.
I hate to break this up.
Yeah.
We're coming to the end of our session, Doctor and Tuan Syed and Saif and everybody, because our allotted time is only 1.5 hours. We are coming to that now.
Yeah.
It's in 2 minutes. All right. So before that, I like to before we end our session tonight, it has been a good session. And remember, this webinar has been brought to you, ladies and gentlemen, by master students of corporate communication who are taking this Dr. Megat's class, communication decision making. All right, before we end,
Bravo, guys.
okay, can I call again one more time Tuan Syed to wrap up his talk, and then followed by Dr. Megat. Then I take over from there, and we will end the session by tonight. Can I call upon Tuan Syed, please?
Okay.
Our final word.
First, I want to say a big thank you for this opportunity
Welcome.
to share how GLC Highway comms team operate and make decisions.
This is awesome time, awesome sharing, very awesome. Yeah.
And I would like to wish all of you the success in your masters. May you get your highest marks. Since your doctor is here, that's a hint, doctor. You know.
Tell him. Tell Dr. Megat he needs to give those more some marks, right?
and I'm open to Dato' Zukri if anybody needs some, just to chat and just find things out from anything that will help you in your course of your master study. If I can be, any help, I'm open. Right?
We'll take note of that, Tuan Syed. Yeah, you continue, sir.
Yeah. So hopefully, if once we are safer, perhaps one day I can invite all of you to our Prasada Plus, because our Houston control station, which is called the Traffic Monitoring Center, now has the latest technology in terms of the screen. Right? You can actually zoom in and see your face and all that. So that's how powerful it is. Right?
So it is called Houston, eh?
No, we call it Houston, but it's just TMC, Traffic Monitoring Center.
All right, I know, I understand, because for the benefit of other people, everybody else in this session, Houston means the story Apollo 13. Houston, we have a problem. Remember that quote, that movie, right? Translate, I think Translate is also a movie buff like me.
Correct. So that's the nerve center. If any incidences, they will see and people will call into our plus line. So remember the plus line, 18,000, 88,000, yeah?
That's right. Okay, Dr. Megat, please. Can you please your final words for tonight, Dr. Megat? Hopefully we're going to have more webinar like this, Dr. Megat. It has been very interesting, very enlightening. And Dr. Megat, please.
All right. Okay, thank you, Tuan Syed, for your willingness to come to here to share your experience, to share plus vision, right? Vision and mission, all right, for our customer, for the citizens of Malaysia, the road user in Malaysia. So actually, this is the first time I heard one-to-one information from plus representatives explaining about MLFF, right? The multi-lanes, all right. So the importance of having this thing, because I also had some misunderstanding on this issue of toll as well. So thank you very much for sharing today. So thank you for group masters class for communication and decision making for organizing this thing. We will have some more webinar, so exchange of ideas. I think reading is not enough. I think sharing idea is more important when we have this type of classes. And thank you very much again, Tuan Syed, for coming to our session today. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Megat. Ladies and gentlemen, before we end our session tonight, it has been very good, entertaining, awesome, and very marvelous. I know more things about PLUS than I did not know before. Thank you very much, Tuan Syed. And also, I know about Dr. Megat's idea about PLUS earlier. Okay, thank you for that. Yes. We had a good time. Thank you, Tuan Syed, for being our guest, and Dr. Megat to be our panelist. Very hard talk. Actually, this is a hard talk session, not some, not a santai session as it was promised earlier. No. This is not santai. This is hard talk. Very hard. In the Malay word, it's called berasap. Dr. Megat come with, kenapa nak bayar toll earlier, and then Tuan Syed come back with about this, people don't want to. People coming back from Australia, whom I call country bumpkin. He said, not, okay. 1 hour and a half session, 1.5 hour session is not enough for tonight. Maybe we can do more in another time in, this kind of session with PLUS. This is not a small GLC, it's a huge, mega GLC, taking care of the toll from the road, the highway from KK Hitam down to Air Hitam, isn't it? No, actually it's JBO, Kempas. Skudai. It's a very massive, mammoth kind of thing. All right. It has been a good session, and I'm privileged to be given the role of a moderator. I hope I've served the purpose, and I know that Dr. Megat has served his purpose tonight. Thank you so much, sir. And Tuan Syed, our guest, you have been the star, actually 2 stars tonight, 2 stars, 2 bintang, kiri kanan. I'm in the middle, trying to moderate you guys berasap-rasap ni. So thank you so much. And I like to end this session with dengan hormatnya kita mengucapkan Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan selamat malam. Terima kasih tuan-tuan sekalian. Alhamdulillah, syukran.
Okay.
Good night.